Last February, Normal Heights resident Abibi Antalo spoke at a press conference. 5 months prior, his brother was killed by a car.
My brother, Abaraka Beretura, was passed away on September 16, 2016, crossing Kansas and El Cao Boulevard.
The nonprofit Circulate San Diego had called the press conference to highlight the need for safety improvements at the city's most dangerous intersections. Antalo says Kansas and El Cajon, where his brother was hit, needs a crosswalk and a traffic light.
So we need somebody who take an initiative to install the light, and that's why I am the one coming here pushing. So for the safety is first in our community. Safety should be first in our community.
In 2015, the San Diego City Council approved its Vision Zero plan to eliminate all traffic deaths in the city by 2025. It has a long way to go. Over the last 5 years, crashes have killed more people in San Diego than murder. And this graph represents traffic deaths only on city streets. If you include highways, San Diego's traffic fatality rate is more than double the murder rate.
Well, how many people in San Diego County carry guns openly and out and about? Very few. How many of us drive cars? All of us.
Mark McCullough is a traffic officer with the San Diego Police Department. He says the numbers should not be all that surprising.
The probability of you being involved in a collision is far greater than you being murdered by somebody with a weapon of something like that. It's one of those ratio things. And unfortunately, well, murder is, we look at the premeditation, whereas being involved in a collision, it can happen at any moment, and so many things contribute to it.
Things like distracted driving or driving under the influence. McCullough says our society has become desensitized to car crashes. They happen all the time, but that doesn't have to be true, according to Kathleen Ferrier, a local advocate for safer streets.
But our culture has decided that traffic crashes are part of modern life. We drive, therefore, there will be crashes. The more we drive, the more that there will be crashes. But this is unacceptable. The numbers keep going up. And worse, the people who are getting hit more often and who are getting killed more often are older adults, children, and people of color and living in low-income neighborhoods.
I meet Ferrier on University Avenue in City Heights. San Diego just accepted a $5.4 million grant to redesign a portion of the street here with new bike lanes, more crosswalks, and roundabouts to slow down cars.
So this is really the first proactive action the city has taken for Vision Zero to redesign the street. And we know the design makes a huge difference in how people move around safely. So again, they looked at the crash data and found out that this is a section where most crashes are happening along University Avenue.
The project will be a big improvement, but even with that grant money, the project is still not quite fully funded. And it's not expected to be finished until 2022, just 3 years before the city is meant to get to zero traffic deaths. Also, this is a half mile of one street. San Diego has thousands of miles of streets, and many of them are very dangerous for anyone who's not in a car. Ferrier says if the city is serious about protecting people from getting killed by cars, it needs to spend more money designing safer streets across the city.
And we hear so often about police in San Diego and how we need to clearly keep a strong police force, which is true, to keep our streets safe. But it's really the way that we design our streets and the way we design our cities that impact how people behave.
In other words, you reap what you sow. For decades, San Diego built streets that effectively encouraged bad behavior, unsafe driving. It's now in the difficult and expensive process of righting that wrong. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.